I wanted to show you guys how to make a recipe in MyFitnessPal because it's gonna make it so much easier to log something really accurately if it has a lot of different ingredients. So sometimes things that have individual ingredients, like 3 ingredients, it's easy just to add, your meat, your potatoes, your veggie, whatever, and just weigh them individually. But if you have something like a casserole, a smoothie, a enchiladas, a soup, anything like that, it's gonna be so much easier to create a recipe in MyFitnessPal, and I'm gonna show you exactly how to do that. So I'm gonna show you my green smoothie and how I'm gonna create the recipe in MyFitnessPal for that, for an accurate measurement of what I'm actually eating from the smoothie. So first is what you want to do is weigh your container. If you're making a casserole, weigh the casserole dish in grams on your digital scale. If you're making a smoothie, weigh your blender on the scale in grams, and then write down how much the blender, the dish, the pan, however much it weighs, write that down. So I'm going to put this down so you can actually see, hopefully, the stuff. Sorry, my face is cut off. Okay, so here's my scale. I'm going to weigh my blender in grams. So we put that on there. It weighs 850 grams. So I'm gonna write that down because I know that's how much my blender weighs. And now I'm gonna add stuff to it. So zero that out. I'm gonna add some lettuce. So I'm just gonna chop up the lettuce. It's already, all these things are already washed and dried. If you were making a casserole, a soup, or anything like that, you would then cook it and then weigh the whole thing together minus the container. So this whole thing, all the ingredients mixed together, is 1,708 grams. But I already weighed the blender, my container, so I want to do 1,708 minus 850, and that will be my total grams for this recipe. So in the serving sizes of the recipe, I will put that many grams that the recipe, all the ingredients together, weighs, if that makes sense. I know it might take a little bit of time when you are creating a new recipe. You need to write everything down, you need to add the specific amounts of those ingredients. But once the recipe is in there, whatever you're eating, just measure out the serving size that you're eating, and you know what the macro breakdown is and the calories and everything, and it makes it super, super easy. So give it a little time, add in those recipes when you make them, weigh them, measure them, and I promise it will be so worth it in the long run, and it makes it super, super easy to log a meal like that. So now I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to add it all into MyFitnessPal.
Find My Meals, Recipes, and Foods. Then at the bottom, create a recipe, enter ingredients manually, name it what you want it to be called, green smoothie. A lot of times I'll enter the ingredients of the recipe if I know how much I added, and I'll just guess on the serving size until I can weigh it after it's cooked or mixed. But since I already know this weighs 158 grams, I put that as the servings. Now, I weighed each of the ingredients, so I'm going to put that amount in. 201 grams of lettuce, because I weighed each ingredient as I added it. If you were making something like enchiladas and you added the whole can of enchilada sauce, on that can it probably says it does say the amount that it is, 10 ounces or whatever the amount is. So you would put 10 ounces Rosarita enchilada sauce or whatever kind you used. So you don't have to weigh the enchilada sauce if you already know there's 10 ounces in that whole can and use the whole can. But I weighed each of these ingredients. And if you were making enchiladas and you used 8 Mission tortillas, you would just put 8 Mission tortillas. When I am weighing stuff, I like to use grams or ounces just because it is the most accurate. Matching all the ingredients, making sure the correct measurement is in there. All the ingredients are correct and they are measured in grams, because that's what I measured them in. You can click on each ingredient just to make sure, yep, 1 gram, 201 grams. Okay, perfect. If I need to change anything, you can click on it and search for an alternative ingredient. So I'm going to change this coconut water because I want to make sure I get the correct brand of what I used, so the macros will be more accurate. Search for the one that's most accurate and change it to ounces because that's what I used to measure it in. And then I used 4 ounces. Then you'll just click on the little arrow to go next. And since I know how much it weighs, 850 grams, that's the serving sizes. So now my recipe is created and I can go add that. Click on recipes and it's right there. So 1 serving size is a gram. And so now if I just weigh how much I want to eat, I put in that number of grams. And then it will give me a really accurate macro breakdown of that meal.